Yeah, nobody really paid attention to what was really going on and what I was trying to point out in the videos that I did put up. You can see the acting, you can see the lying. I mean, look at Miss Kirk. We all knew that something wasn't right about the way she was acting. And yeah, because of the police and everything, they basically gave me an impossible task. A task that they were never going to follow up on. And that's what I was doing. So she thought I was going to be too embarrassed that I was back at my mother's, that I wouldn't show or say what was going on. You got another thing coming, chick. Yeah, Jen. I did end up back at my mother's a lot. Jen. I was considered disabled. Jennifer. I wasn't supposed to be able to even be working. I was blown up. Of course. I was blown up as a kid. Took a flight across the street all because I tried to get lunch. Well, it was a little bit before lunch, but that's what I was going over there to get. Yeah, that's where some of my PTSD comes from. The rest comes from being shocked to my core by what I've seen as a child. Pop having dementia is just crazy. This man is always in an uproar, and I think it's getting worse because he is constantly mad, just about everything. I don't know what to do for him. Yeah, the only reason why Brian wanted to come help me or ask for extra work was so he could try and mess up my jobs for Tiffany. Yep, that's why he messed with the job down there at the gas station. And that's why I ended up losing that job, is because he was deliberately mixing mortar up with warm water, which made it set up quicker. And I told him to make sure he wasn't doing that before he started. And halfway through, he decided to change up, and he did it on purpose. He also had something set up with one of the ladies that he was friends with down there through Pop. Come to find out, guess what? Another sheriff family. Anyway, he brings this contractor in, and this contractor starts running his mouth. And this contractor fucking puts in the cheapest fucking shit. We're doing ceramic, and it looks beautiful. It just has to be grouted. And that's what Craig got upset about. It was going to take another day to grout it, and then I would have been done. And yep, it was going to take an extra day, all because he wouldn't let me work late. Yeah, I would get there when he got there at 5 a.m., and I'd work all the way until 9 o'clock, and I wanted to work longer, and he wouldn't let me. Yeah, it would have made up for the time that Brian was trying to sabotage me. Yeah, he believed those women and went with whatever they said. And the one woman, her husband, was a contractor and she wanted that job. But she also knows that if a contractor has to come in and go over top of another contractor, it's more money. So they just blew Craig's budget out the water. I was completely under his budget and kept him perfectly where he needed to be. Yeah, his budget was like 8 to 10 grand, and I kept him at 6.5 with labor and material. And I've already done his bathroom. I was waiting to do the floor and the whole store. That was next. That was supposed to be before this coffee bar thing. But yeah, that's what Brian did. I don't want to hear any of y'all shit. At that time, I was in business for 15, 16 years. No callbacks, no problems, no nothing. And then all of a sudden, my nephew needs some help. And yeah, he did. He fucked with a lot of shit. And these people were fucking with Preg, the women. And I found out who they were related to and why they were doing it. They were trying to steal the money. They were trying to make me look bad and get paid more for the job. That way they could go over the top of what Preg wanted to pay. And Preg didn't realize that he was being manipulated by them, not me. Even though he's known me since I've been 13 years old. Actually, he's known me before that. Yeah, we've stopped in this store a few times before we even moved out here. And I thought it was cool when we moved out here because we had a store right next door. We didn't have to walk no fucking 3 miles to a store. I'm pretty sure it's more than 3 miles, but anyway, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 3 miles all together. If not, it's damn close to it. Trust me, I've walked every bit of it multiple times. Oh, I've walked further than that before. I've walked from Northeast all the way to Conowingo in the middle of winter. Me and my friend were bored. His car was all fucked up. Turned out to be his clutch, just like I told him. Oh yeah, man, she had everybody manipulated. And Tiffany, it is not hard to manipulate my sister. You know that. The only reason she came to you is because you had money. Yeah, you better understand that one real quick. She is like a bloodhound for anybody that's got money, just like you. She will instantly become their best loyal friend. Oh yeah, all of a sudden she's very helpful. Any other time she's a bitch. Hmm. That's the way she works. Just like the only reason why she helps mom and pop out with things and has them in her name is so she can use it as leverage. Yep, that way John always has a place to stay. That way she doesn't have to deal with it. And if mom and pop ever have to go against John for any reason, Jeanette will just cut that off. Oh yeah, but she loves her mommy and her parents. No, she doesn't. She uses them. That's all she's ever done is use people. Yep. Oh yeah, man. I used to get her cigarettes, all kinds of shit when she didn't have any money and I was working. Uh, Ended up getting her hooked up with a real good dude, Dave Heffron, that I was working with, and Dave was the one that asked me about that. And I even told Dave, I was like, "Are you sure? She's the devil." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll be fine." Yeah, sure. I think it was funny. I was one of the best helpers that man ever had, and he even said it multiple times. Tried to get me multiple raises. Actually, got me in trouble because he tried to get me so many raises. But then once he starts dating my sister, all of a sudden it's fuck you. Really? Yeah, you better learn real quick, bro. That's something to get you beat the fuck up by me. Yeah, I'm getting tired of people doing that kind of shit. Now, back in the day, I'd just shake my head and learn my lesson and stay the fuck away from them. And what did it do? Left them out there to run their mouth about other shit. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been able to properly gain weight since my appendix. Once that damn thing burst, I started getting heavy in seventh grade. And then I don't know what happened. But between seventh and eighth grade, dude, I lost it all. I don't know what happened. My uh, seventh grade picture, I look like a chunky little freaking husky dude. I was a middle linebacker. And then for some reason, eighth grade, man, it was like everything went away. I was toned. I just wasn't, husky anymore. Then I started looking into things, and there's one guy that was like 375 pounds, and he ended up having a appendicitis and his appendix rupturing. After that, he dropped to like 180 pounds and could never put on weight. So I don't know if it's got something to do with that or not, but I really don't care. It doesn't matter. I'm fine with who I am. It seems like society's not fine with who I am, as in physical looks, which I don't care. I'm handy and funny. It makes up for all that. And what I keep hearing from all these big dudes, oh, they left because they wanted security. Yeah, okay. What these big dudes don't understand is my brother is like what, 6'2", pushing 300 pounds. Yeah, so don't even go there. You ain't nothing but a fucking rock. You can't move like I can. And you damn sure can't hit as hard as I can. I've proven that multiple times. Yeah, I walked into my cousin's house where there was like at least 15 of them playing dead arm, and they had a dead arm competition, apparently. And that was the first time I had stopped in to say hey and see what everybody was up to. And Dan, Jimmy, and all them trying to talk me into playing it. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna hurt y'all. And they start laughing. Your little ass can't hurt nobody. Uh huh. My brother chimed in and he said, yeah, you might want to watch it. That's when big boy Matt, big black dude, stood up and he was like, yeah, let's see if he can beat me. One shot, he was done. Yeah, he took his three, and I took one, and he quit. Everybody. It didn't matter who I went against. One shot, they were done. Even Dan. Dan was supposed to be the second in line for being the champion. Nobody could beat him or Matt, and I think that's why they were the first two that they put on me or against me. I didn't even have a mark. I didn't even feel it. Oh, they felt it when I hit them. Fucking Matt hit his knees, dude. He was fucking wailing. I really thought he had lost a few years in age. I'm like, seriously, dude? You're supposed to be the champion? Shut the fuck up, man. What'd you hit? Your arm? It sent shockwaves all through my body, man. What the hell? It's called a nerve, jackass. Yeah, you know, sciatic nerves that run up and down your body. Yeah, they go through your shoulders and stuff too. Uh-huh. That's what I hit. Oh yeah, if you hit right where the shoulder and bicep muscle connect, you know, right in that little dent. And I mean, you hit it freaking as hard as you could and dead to the bone. And I'm telling you, their whole arm will go numb completely. It would be nothing but painful tingles. It's almost like hitting your funny bone, even though it's not very funny. It's funny for everybody else. You also have that on your wrist, and it runs up your arm. It's actually the vein that you see popping out of your bicep. So yeah, you have a lot of tendons and nerves and all that in those creases. That's where some of them connect and intertwine and all that. If you make that thing Charlie horse up or punch it with the right force, yeah, oh yeah, you shut people down easily. You can do it in the hip area too. A lot of people do a karate chop. Some people do two fingers, which I'm good at that too. I remember Brian, my nephew, trying to show off in front of my ex when we were together, running his mouth about, how he could box and all that stuff. And I'm like, dude, you have never been able to fight. And, he kept going on and on. And I was like, all right, well, I'll tell you what, you swing and I'll just use two fingers and we'll see how this goes. And he's like, two fingers? I said, yeah, I'm just going to jab you with two fingers. That's it. You can punch, but I'm just going to use this. And he's like, what? So we set up and I hit him three times right off the bat and he was already on the ground. He's like, what the hell did you do? I just went back over and sat down and started laughing. Little my son David, he was watching us wrestle around, and he's like, "Dad, what'd you do?" I said, "Don't worry about it." Oh yeah, it was like he became instantly paralyzed. It only does it for a little while, not unless you destroy it. Then that's different. But yeah, you gotta be very careful when you do stuff like that. And I was. I made sure I didn't destroy anything. That I just showed him where they were. And just like the night I come out, he asked me for some cigarettes. I go out there, and he was running his mouth before out of his shed, you know. And when he asked me for the cigarettes, I'm like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna run your mouth to me and then ask me for something, huh?" And he's talking all this shit before I left before about how if I come back out there, he's gonna do this and that. And I'm like, "Dude, you're the one starting this shit. You're all pissed off about your girl or whatever. I didn't even say a word to you other than you deserved it." So I come out there, bring him cigarettes, and when he opens the door, he tries to go like real low at my legs with a knife, and I just kicked his arm to the side, stood on his hand with the knife, and hit him with two fingers in the center of his chest, right on your CPR button, and he passed out. He did. He went right to sleep. I've never seen anybody do that. I've seen them double over in pain, you know, or gasp for air, but I've never seen them pass out. Yeah, he passed straight out. I had to catch him. And once I got him awake and made sure he was okay, he's like, "What the hell did you do?" Don't worry about it. Oh yeah, Brian went to a couple of jobs with me, and at every job he was trying to do stupid shit that would have gotten, you know, us in trouble. And I even told him before we got there, when the one girl on the job was trying to hit on him on this one job we were on, and I told him, I said, "Don't be doing that." Why? Because all they have to do is get mad at you and then say that somebody from my company sexually harassed them. That's it. Doesn't matter what the truth is. There's nobody here that's gonna fight for you other than me. And yeah, this girl was trying everything she could to get him to do something stupid. Then they ended up trying to rip me off at the end, and that didn't work. Yeah, because we used PayPal, they tried to act like they ordered something offline that wasn't what it was specified, and use that to get their bank to undo the transaction. And then she put in a court case at the um, labor board, thinking that was going to work, and I had to go all the way fucking down to Baltimore for that. And the judge told her, "You can't do that." And I have signed papers saying that she was very happy with the job. And some of the stuff that I did for her for completely free, she tried to act like, you know, she had paid me thousands of dollars for, and I didn't do it. And the judge is like, "First off, right here is the thing signing that he's donating it, the labor to you for that. So he didn't charge you for that, and he didn't charge you for this, and he didn't charge you for that. The only thing he charged you for was putting the floor covering in. That was it." And she was like, "Yeah, but the flooring wasn't specified." I have all the text messages and everything where she's the one that knows the color, style, and product number, and she's the one giving it to me. And I'm standing in front of the people where we order it. So as soon as it's text and sent through, they see it. And I even took a picture of the flooring and sent it to her and said, "This is it, right?" And she confirmed, yes. When I got to her house, I confirmed it again because, you know, it can be a little different through a lens. Just wanted to make sure, you know, when she got it up front that it was actually the one. And she said yes. And it even says on the bottom of the contract that we, or the invoice that I wrote out, that, you know, payment in full means satisfactory for install. And she signed it and paid me. and then tried to take it all back electronically behind my back. When I took all the stuff to court, showed them what she did, even brought her neighbor in. Well, I didn't bring her neighbor in. They had wrote out a a letter that we had notarized, and I took it with me because when I put in this lady's new door, she had me take the door that came with that frame, take that door out, and put her original door in the new frame. And I said, okay, which I didn't charge her for putting in a new door or anything. Um, she wasn't charged for any of that. But anyway, I put in this new door. Even sent her pictures of the one with the gray door, and then when I took the gray door out and put her original door back in the new frame, I took a picture of that, and she's like, "Oh, great," because at first her jam was so messed up it wasn't even locking, and you couldn't piece it back together. So we just got her a new door, and that gave her a whole new frame. And then she didn't like the solid wood door; she wanted the one with the window back in it. But all the ones with the windows were out of her price range. So I found one for $128. And I bought two of them because my mom's house also needed a door, and the gray door is still on. She never changed to the, old door. But yeah, it's been in shit over 10 years. Oh yeah, I put in all new doors. The one for the garage, the back door, all new lights. I was gonna do vinyl siding, and they said no. Then I sent somebody to look at their driveway because I was gonna pay to get that redone. That was before I even lived here. And they said no. They chased him off, even though I warned them of who he was and why he was coming there. Yeah, I was going to pay to have their whole driveway redone with 4 inches of blacktop. Best blacktop grade you can get. And that part was going to be a surprise. I just, told them I had somebody coming over to look at the driveway to redo it for him, and who he was, and blah, blah, blah. And they ended up getting ignorant with him and chasing him off. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? I told you he was coming. Oh, that was it. Yeah, it says it right on his truck. I mean, what? Yeah, Sam's Paving. That time, they were a very good company. I have no clue who's taken them over or how they are now. All I know is back at this time, they were one of the best companies around. So I redid all the floors in this house, living room, hallway, all the bedrooms. The only one I didn't do was the kitchen and the master bathroom. That was it. When the kitchen was being done, my brother's friend told my mom that he could get her vinyl, sheet vinyl, and it would cost her 300. And I told her she could get LVP and it would cost 350. And she went with the sheet vinyl. Even though that guy stole it off of a job, it was discontinued. He didn't use the right seam sealer, and he was just a disaster. And this is what I mean by I don't see how these piece of shit installers have a job. And this guy, oh, I do this all the time. Really? You're so much of a wimp. You have to have an actual portable roller to be able to transport the vinyl around. You can't pick it up and carry it. Why when I don't have to? Oh, okay. So you paid $1,500 for a contraption that does nothing but take up more room and get in the way, and you don't even need it. You're a pussy. You shouldn't be in this trade. Yeah, that shit went right on my shoulder, right in the house, and sat it on the floor. And he's yelling about this fucking thing he's got. And he comes bringing it in, and I'm like, dude, why do I need that? I just brought it in the house. How you gonna unroll it? I'm gonna fucking unroll it. Then afterwards, he's like, man, yeah, you're really good trying to, you know, I went to slide the fridge back and he's running his mouth about, being careful with it. And I just laughed at him and slid it in place. And he starts telling my mom, oh, well, he pushed it so fast, he's going to rip your vinyl. So he pulls it back out and then pushes it faster than I did to put it back in. And I'm like, what the fuck? And guess what? No rips. Imagine that. Fucking dumbass. Yeah, it's not my first rodeo, buddy. Then he tries to be like, oh, well, I can pay you $10 an hour if you want to come help me out. Motherfucker, I'm $250 a day. And after that first day, you're going to see why I'm percentage. I only give that day rate for the first day. It's never lasted past the first day. After that, they have all said, you're worth way more than this. You're worth way more than that. You're worth way more than that. So shut the fuck up. I don't need you trying to sit here and play this little fucking, oh, you're going to get a good dude that does all the work for fucking cheap price. Yeah, that ain't happening,